And I fear that this is going to be a real crazy year. It's an election year again here in the U.S. You got the Fed not knowing, you really don't know what they're going to do. You got geopolitics, where all of a sudden there's all these hot spots flaring up around the world. There's all kinds of crazy things are going to happen this year, which make it challenging. But I call it a macro cast because at this point, if you can just get some of the macroeconomic things right, what's going on with inflation, what's going on with the economy, what's the Fed going to do, then you're 70% of the way of getting it right on prices too. So we took a stab at it, and I think it aligns a little bit with where we were a couple of years ago. So I end up being kind of optimistic. But again, this is going to be some kind of year, Elijah. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Do you have any price targets for both gold and silver this year?
Yeah, I do. That's all part of the fun. Some folks look at me and think, that's like, you got to aim higher. Okay. And I've never have, just because I don't think there's any value to, claiming we're going to $10,000 or something like that. I think that scares people away more than anything else. So, over the last 15 years since the great financial crisis, go back to 2007, dollar price gold has averaged about 11%. Okay, that's at least a good place to start. We finished the year right around 1800, so 11% would get you up just somewhere north of 2000 for the end of the year, or a high watermark, something like that. That seems, at least plausible. Silver usually does, about twice as well or twice as poorly as gold, so you can kind of do that math as well. And I think, again, if we can get the macro stuff right, and the signs are there that this year is a lot like 2010 or even 2019, and those were both really good years for the precious metals, because they were both years where the investment world kind of figured out that the Fed was full of it.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information, and it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
And I think that's the revelation that will be had over the course of this year again. I might expand on that further, I guess, Elijah. In the great financial crisis, we had QE for the first time in March of 2009. And we were assured by the Ben Bernanke, as we used to call him, that it was a one-time deal, right? It was just in response to the financial crisis. And eventually the Fed would draw its balance sheet back down to $1 trillion, and then rates would go normalize and all that kind of stuff. And in 2010, as the year began, the markets kind of believed him. Problem was, by November of 2010, we got QE2. And that was when, silver moved up 150%. Gold over time moved up nearly 100% and hit what had then been an all-time high north of 1900. And, again, there was this glimpse behind the curtain that, hey, wait a second, the Fed just kind of tugging our chain here. Nothing, they're not going back. Okay, so then fast forward to 2018 into 19, we'd had 5 years of the Fed telling us that rates are going to go up and they were going to normalize the balance sheet and all that kind of stuff. And then the markets broke and the stock market crashed about 20% in 20 days in December of 18. And so the Fed changed policy again. They started cutting rates by June of 19, where as 19 began, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan said they were going to be hiking rates 4 times. Does that sound familiar, by the way? So anyway, again, it gets revealed that the Fed, they're now going back to, trimming the balance sheet in half and all that kind of stuff. Not happening. So if we're in this period again, Elijah, where people are realizing that the Fed is full of it, then we're probably on the cusp of another pretty significant move. Again, it was big move in 2010-11, another really big move out of 18 into the middle part of 2020. Yeah, we conceivably could be on the doorstep of that again. Inflation, the numbers go up, but they don't then go back down. It's not like, say you had something that cost you $5 a year ago, and it went up 20% in price this year, and now all of a sudden it's $6. Well, if now in 2022 it's only going to go up 10% in price, that's still $6.60 versus $5.50. It's not like you reset down to $5 and then, add 10% again. So, I mean, this is a legitimate, serious problem, especially on that for real wages for the, the great, 90% of the people in the U.S. that live and work and pay their bills and try to, raise their families and all that kind of stuff. So it is a problem. It's going to stay a problem. I saw some stuff, as we record this here on the 13th, the producer price index came out, and month over month, it was only 0.2%. down from 0.7 or 8.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.